Hey everybody, I'm Carrie. I was just doing a Facebook Live and my internet just didn't want to play today. So I decided to just do a quick video on my phone, upload it to the Facebook, and now you get your Lilith content. So this is not a Q&A anymore. This is just a straight up video about Lilith and astrology, how you can find your personal Lilith on your astrological chart, what your Lilith means, and what is the story of Lilith. Now, you probably have been hearing this word kind of thrown around lately. What's your Lilith? How do I find my Lilith? I think we've also not just heard the word Lilith, but also seen Lilith, seen the archetype play out in people. Definitely with our feminist movements, our political movements lately, but also just with people in general, both genders, all genders, wanting to have this bit of a personal revolution. Lilith is all about taking the thing that we keep hidden because we fear it'll be banned from society or banished, and expressing it. And so that's something that all of us can get into, right? So I am a wellness astrologer, and that means that I specifically work with people and their astrological charts, finding the parts of their charts that point to physical health and mental health, and how to work with people through some of the challenges and take advantage of some of the gifts. I specifically look at the parts of your chart that can tell you what your blind spots are, some of your blocks, and I can help you heal those blocks and that self-sabotage and break through whatever is holding you back. And then most of all, my favorite part is that I am able to look at different parts in the chart that give you breadcrumbs and help you understand exactly how to manifest some of the biggest dreams and soul purpose that you've been wanting to in your life. I love this type of astrology. It's transformational work, and that really turns me on and excites me. So that's what I do. And I also, I coach people to use their astrology chart to their greatest advantage. But I also do the regular astrology stuff that's like, when will I find love, or when will I be open to finding love? Because that's actually what that question's about. Where on the planet should I relocate to? Location astrology, or retire to, right? Or another one is like, what's going on with my relationship? How do I find my life purpose? What's going on with my career? I also do astrology with those topics as well. But it's all about empowering you to use your chart to give you some really good guidance. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking Lilith. So I bet you didn't know that you could find all of that in your astrology chart, but I have seen it. I've used astrology to make profound transformation in my own life, very, very prosperous transformation, and I have seen it happen in the lives of my clients. And so, to be honest with you, I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it. And so I thought I really got to share the possibilities of the astrological chart with people. Everybody should get in tune with their chart and know what's up. So today we're going to talk about one particular part of astrology that everybody has on their birth charts, okay? And that is called Lilith. Now, you've probably heard a lot about Lilith lately. Lilith in astrology represents the part of our psychology that is wild and free and sexually unapologetic, and is all about owning their autonomy, okay? But because this is Lilith, it's not like some Scorpio 8th house stuff, that we keep hidden. This is kind of a different energy. Because this is Lilith, this is this part of ourselves that we keep hidden that's wild. We sometimes even keep it from ourselves for fear that we will be persecuted, or that we won't be accepted into the collective because we are expressing this particular energy. And the problem is that every aspect of the astrology chart is there for a reason. So if you have any placement in your chart, it's because it's meant to be expressed and or balanced, okay? And so Lilith is not something that can or should stay hidden. And the problem is that when we try to repress our Lilith placement, it starts to come out in more kind of disastrous ways. It comes out in abuse of ourselves, abuse of other people. It comes out in addictions. It comes out in all the ways that we use to try to suppress a part of ourselves, escapism, all kinds of stuff, right? So it's really important that we use this Lilith energy, because Lilith is one of the archetypes that is not actually so personal. She's meant to be used in service to the collective. And so basically, if you deny your Lilith, you deny all of us your Lilith. So you should get on board, is what I'm saying. Now, I've told you who Lilith is in astrology and in your own personal psychology, but who is she in history? Now, this is some interesting shit. Now, you know, every story or myth that we have, was created to explain ourselves to ourselves and explain the world around us. So like back before we had the internet, right? Or back before we had therapists to kind of help us, you know, deconstruct our mind and the reasons why we do the things that we do. We just had stories. We came up with gods that represented certain parts of our psyche. We came up with the stories of how those gods interacted to help us understand our relationships to ourselves and to other people. We came up with stories to explain why the sun rises at a certain time, or to come up with, to understand why we sometimes call ourselves lunatics when the full moon is out, or how we can go a little bit crazy, to explain that to ourselves, because we didn't know. And now, you know, that's the whole reason the word lunatic is there, because it's connected to the word lunar, which is the moon. So we have astrology and archetypes all over our planet. No matter how modern we get, our very foundation is very much rooted in these stories. So Lilith is a story as well. Now, Lilith, as we've seen her in different cultures, was the first woman. And Lilith was before Eve. Okay, and the story goes that in this, you know, the Christian story goes that, or actually it's also in Jewish culture, but anyway, the story goes that the Creator created Adam and Lilith, and he created, or he or it, okay, created them both from the same material, the same ground, the same earth, right? And so he created I'm conditioned to, I'm a person of this society. It created these two entities to be different genders, but to be equal, okay? Created from the same thing. And so the story goes that that Adam couldn't handle a counterpart that felt equal to him. And this means like equal in the expression of desire, equal in the expression of sexuality, equal in the expression of leadership and creativity. Apparently Adam has some issues, and he went to the Creator and said, look, this ain't gonna work out. And so the Creator banished Lilith from the Garden of Eden and basically created somebody else, created Eve, and took one of Adam's ribs in order to create Eve, so that it was always very clear that Eve was not equal to Adam, that she came from him, hence the word woe man, okay? And that Eve would always fundamentally know that she was subordinate. And what happened to Lilith? Well, Lilith got banished and demonized all throughout history. So many stories about the demon goddess Lilith. And so this is something that we really want to look at, you know, because we keep Lilith hidden because she represents a part of ourselves that's been banished, that we don't think society will accept. and that we keep hidden. Because what is the worst thing that can happen to a community-oriented human, a human being that needs other people? To be exiled, to be banished from human contact, to be made extinct, basically. Because if you have no one to reflect you back to you, do you actually exist? So this is the story of Lilith, the rage that came from this person who was just expressing herself, and how she basically spewed that out on everybody. So I'm already telling you how Lilith can be used in a not so great ways. Okay, so now that's the story. I am not here to debate any of it. That's just the story that explains the energy of Lilith, and please don't leave any comments about anything else, okay? So now I've heard Lilith called feminist energy, and some people are very comfortable with that. For me, I feel as if astrology isn't gendered, and I've seen, I believe that we are made of masculine and feminine energy, and we use them in different ways and at will. So I don't think this is, I don't like to call this so much feminist energy, although men can obviously be feminists. But I do want to, what I do want to say is that I think this is more of the activist energy. This is more about Lilith doing something in service to, the activist who shows up to make something right, to balance something. And so remember before when I was saying that we've seen a lot of Lilith show up in the world lately? We've definitely seen the Lilith archetype show up in all of the men and women and boys and girls who are stepping forward to expose sexual abuse in our media and in our institutions and in our religions. We've seen Lilith rise up in the search for justice and truth within our political system. And we have definitely seen, you've probably seen Lilith rise up in your own relationships, in this desire for autonomy within your own personal relationships. So Lilith is always present, and she has definitely been showing up lately in our everyday lives. So what I want to get into now is about how you can find your personal Lilith placement, how you can go literally online and see which sign that you have Lilith in, and also which house that you have Lilith in. Now, it's important that you know those two things. There are 12 signs of the zodiac and 12 corresponding houses to those signs. So each sign represents different energy, the different archetypes, like the Aries energy, the Taurus energy, the Leo energy, okay? And then the house represents how that energy will be directed in that person's life. So when you want to look for your Lilith, you want to know what's the energy that we're talking about. So like say Lilith in Taurus is a certain type of energy, right? And then how will that Lilith and Taurus energy show up in my life? And that's what you want to know. Okay, so the way to do that is you can go to astro.com, a really great site that has so much information about, if you ever want to learn about astrology or look up charts or anything like that, that's a place to go to, a wealth of information. You go to astro.com, you go to the top left of the website, which is says free horoscopes, and then you follow the drop down to the bottom right of the screen where there's a button that will say extended chart selections, and when you click on that button, that allows you to enter some information, your birth information, and then what it opens up for you is this whole kind of space where you can choose certain types of astrology. What kind of charts do you want to look like? It can get a little overwhelming. So when that opens up, simply go straight down to the part, scroll down to the part that says additional objects. And under additional objects, you can select you can make multiple selections. And you will find under there, right above the word that says asteroids, you will find the word Lilith. And you should select that. You select some other things too if you want to, if you know what you're looking for, but that's what you should select. And then press the button that says show the chart. Now the Lilith symbol I wish I had it in front of me. It basically looks like a crescent moon on top of a cross. Let me see if I could do that for you. Crescent moon on top of a cross. And this is the symbol for Black Moon Lilith in your chart. And what you do is you want to look on your chart and where you see that symbol. Look at the sign that's directly next to it, the zodiac sign that's directly next to it, and then the house that it is in. And the house looks like a little wedge of a pizza pie, like a little slice of pizza pie. So for instance, my Lilith is in Taurus and it's in the 7th house, okay? And knowing that, I know that my Lilith shows up as a Taurus energy, which is the bull, by the way. And it's directed into the 7th house of intimate relationships. So anyway, back to you. So it's important to go to a trusted astrologer for this information. You know, your astrology chart has so many different aspects in there. You're going to find your Lilith sign, your Lilith house. You're also going to find all these other little symbols that will tell you all the different aspects to Lilith and how Lilith will play out in your life and how you can work with Lilith. And you know, you're not going to know how to read all that right away, but if you go to it's really important that you go to a trusted astrologer who will help you work through that and interpret this correctly. So it's important to go to somebody. And if you have someone that you go to, wonderful. If you do not, I would be happy to work with you. You can hit me up on Instagram. I'm at selfcarrie, SELFKARRIE, or send me a DM, or you can go to my website, which is km-taylor.com. That's km-taylor.com. Or you can send me an email. Just go hello@km-taylor.com, km-taylor.com, and I would be happy to work with you and see what's up. So I'm actually giving a new workshop about Lilith next week. Thursday, January 17th at 6:30 p.m. at Heart Tribe in Fairfax, California. We're going to get down and get deep into Lilith. And this is kind of the sequel to a workshop that I did on Lilith in November. And I worked with a great group of people talking about figuring out all of our individual Liliths. And they were so excited to do this work that they wanted to know how to bring Lilith out into their life. And so we're doing a sequel to that workshop. This one's called Dark Moon Lilith, Reclaiming the Feminine Wild. I just want to state really quick that the word feminine is in there, but as I said before, astrology is gendered. Femininity is in men, it's in women, and vice versa. Okay, so absolutely everybody is welcome, because absolutely everybody has a Lilith placement and would benefit from learning more about it. All right. So I've given you a lot to start with Lilith. And so I hope that you will watch this a couple of times to make sure that you're super acquainted with her. Again, if you would like to reach out to me and set up a reading or schedule a coaching session to learn more about Lilith, I'd be happy to do that with you. And thank you so much for joining and checking out this information. I hope it helps you. And yeah, looking forward to see you somewhere on the internet. Take care. Bye.